Today I have a success story for you in which I manifested health for another person. The person is one of my clients that I have known probably like 8 to 10 years, so a whole while right now. Of course, during those times, there were times where we were talking more often, and then I didn't hear from her for a long time because, there are of course always phases where she didn't need coaching because she was well. However, this client accidentally manifested a very bad disease. It's the big C. And fortunately, you could say, this client, she had her appendix burst and she needed emergency surgery. Why do I say fortunately? Because while she was already cut open, they found tumors there that probably they wouldn't have found in that moment, but way later. Unfortunately, also, it already had spread even to her liver. How did she manifest that? Well, she called me and she told me that, she reached a certain age, almost becoming 40, close to 40, and she was thinking about that disease. All of a sudden, thinking about it a lot, like, I'm so glad I don't have that. But, the universe doesn't know what you want and what you don't want. It is still focused. She focused on that disease and then manifested it, and like really rapidly. And it didn't look too good. Well, first the doctor said, well, you're still young. And she needed, of course, surgery and chemo. And unfortunately, she didn't focus too much on that. What she called me about was that her best friend couldn't deal with it and just ghosted. And told her, I don't want to deal with that. I can't. Just please stop contacting me. And, ghosted. So that was for her the bigger issue. And I kept telling her, please put that to the side. Manifest health. That is like way more important. So this first round of chemo, it didn't really work. She had to go through a second. And I saw that she posted some things on Facebook and it didn't look too good. And I got a little bit worried. It gave me that feeling in my stomach, that maybe like that burning, like that. I don't want to see anyone going through that. This is awful. And I was frustrated because she put that to the back. I had my new German channel, and I just for her, basically, you could say one of the first meditations I recorded was for health, like 3 of them, so she could do them. But she put that to the side because she wanted to manifest her friend being there for her. I mean, I do understand that, but still, the other thing was more important, right? So I was a little bit frustrated that I couldn't really get through to her to manifest that. She was always like, yeah, I know. And I saw on Facebook something, that gave me this negative feeling where I thought, well, it doesn't look too good. But then I remembered, wait, who is God of my reality? It's me. I am the God of my reality, and I get to decide what experiences I want to make. And I didn't want to experience this person that I knew. I mean, she was not one of my closest friends. She's a client, but I still known her for a long time. And I didn't want to experience to go through that. So I just repeated a couple of times, well, that she's healthy. And I imagined reading good news about it. And I didn't put too much effort into it, which probably, the good thing is that I'm not too close to her, because then you get more worried. The closer someone is, the more you are emotionally involved, right? Just a couple of days later, I did those. Every time I thought about her, I just affirmed, I'm so glad that she's healthy. I'm so glad that she's making progress. I'm so glad that everything is working out fine. And she did call me just a couple of days later and telling me that she had been to the doctor like the day before, or that same day, I don't know. And all of a sudden it looked completely different. And doctor told her, well, it looks good. We just need to check for one test, and it looks like you're officially cancer-free. So that just took a couple of days to shift myself into this timeline where it was better. The thing is, we can never manifest for other people. We can, but we can't at the same time, because all realities already have been created. All different outcomes already have been created. So the reality where she is going through that still exists. And in that reality, in that timeline, she will always go through that. There's timelines where she won't make it. There's timelines where she will, but it will come back, for example. And then there's timelines with full remission. Her soul will make all of those experiences. And if you want to know why, please check out my Death series playlist, where I talk about quantum immortality, about reliving the same life over and over and over again with minor alterations. So when we manifest for someone, we don't change that version of her or them, that person is not going through that, but we shift ourselves where we don't have to experience that, where we get to experience our friends and loved ones being happy, healthy, getting that job, getting the love of their life. We can manifest basically for other people, but again, this timeline where they are everything, happy, healthy, already exists, and they always have been there or get remission or whatever, and we get ourselves there. So that is what I did, and I just basically affirmed a couple of times and visualized seeing online that she would post something like, yeah, good news, and well, she called me and told me, yeah, it looks like good news. What happened though is I shifted myself to a timeline where she actually started manifesting that as well. Before, I was on a timeline where that friend had more priority, but in that new timeline, she learned to put herself, first, and actively manifested herself to get better. So it was common effort. I shifted myself to a timeline where she always had been doing that. So yes, you can manifest for other people, but basically you do not by that destroy all of the timelines where it's not going well. You just tune out of those energetically. If you need a little help with that, of course, you can reach out for personal coaching. Make sure to check out my other manifesting playlist. And also, I do have a meditation. I'm not sure if it is in this channel or my other channel, because I did outsource my meditations. You have to check, but I do have a robotic affirmation meditation, same also as subliminal. And it is something like, I'm so happy and glad that everyone I loved is healthy and happy. It is something like that. So if you do have someone that you care about who is not healthy, make sure to check out that meditation. It's a robotic affirmation meditation. You will find it in the playlists or my other channel, Janine, called Robotic Affirmation Subliminal. Link is in the description box below. And that of course can help you shift to the timeline where your beloved person is happy and healthy. And I do see you there on personal coaching. Until then, as usually, I do wish you all the best. Now, bye-bye. If you want to book your own custom-made affirmation or subliminal, you will find my contact information in the description box below. Or if you want me to coach you when it comes to manifesting, I am a certified manifestation coach. Don't hesitate to contact me.